My neighbor poisoned my garden because I parked in front of his house. I had just moved into my new house. Everything was going perfect. Nice yard. Started a little garden with tomatoes and peppers, and my neighbor seemed chill at first. But then I noticed he'd give me weird looks every time I parked on the street in front of his house. Dude, it's a public street. I can park wherever I want, but apparently he didn't agree with that. One morning, I woke up and half my tomato plants were completely dead, like they just dried up overnight. I thought maybe I forgot to water them, so I didn't think much of it. But then the next week, my peppers were gone too. Everything was dying, and I had been watering them perfectly. I decided to set up a camera pointing at my garden just to see what was happening. Maybe it was some animal or something. The next night, I checked the footage. At 2 a.m., I saw my neighbor sneaking into my yard with a spray bottle. This man was literally spraying something on my plants, and I could tell it wasn't water. I watched him bend down, carefully coating every single leaf, then casually walking back to his house like he just finished a neighborhood watch patrol. I confronted him the next day, walked right up to his door, showed him the video on my phone. He tried to play it off like he was helping me by spraying pesticide. I said, "My plants are literally dead, and you know it." His face went red. He started yelling about how I was disrespecting him by parking in front of his house, and that he owned that spot. I said, "You don't own the street." He goes, "That's my space. I've parked there for 15 years. I said, "Cool story. Still public property." He slammed the door in my face. I wasn't about to let this slide, so I filed a police report and showed them the footage. Turns out, what he was spraying was basically straight up bleach mixed with weed killer. The cops talked to him, and he admitted everything, thinking they'd just give him a warning. But nope, they hit him with property damage charges. Since my garden was worth like $300 in plants and supplies, he had to pay me back plus a fine. He tried to apologize after. Came over with this pathetic look on his face, muttering something about how he overreacted. I said, "You poisoned my vegetables because I parked on a public street." He just stood there. I closed the door. Honestly, I just started parking in front of his house every single day after that. He'd peek through his blinds every time I pulled up, and I'd wave. Some people really need to learn that pettiness has consequences.